Question number 7 states an experiment was performed to determine the enthalpy of combustion of ethanol. This is the experiment. The data collected are shown. This is the data which involves mass of water, mass of ethanol burned, temperature rise, molar mass of ethanol, specific heat capacity of water. So which expression can be used to calculate the enthalpy of combustion of ethanol in kilojoule per mole? And these are the 4 options, right? So basically we have to figure out the enthalpy of combustion of ethanol. Right, this we have to find out. So for this question we have been given the masses or temperature rise. So with the help of this data given, we can very easily calculate q is mc delta t, where q is the heat absorbed by water. It is the heat absorbed by water. See, basically what is happening that we are burning ethanol. When ethanol burns, we get carbon dioxide plus water and energy. The energy is used to raise the temperature of the water. So we use this equation to find out that how much heat is absorbed by the water, where m is the mass of water, c is the heat capacity of water, and delta T is temperature rise. So we just have to plug in all the values. This implies that Q is equals to M. Mass of water is W. C is heat capacity, which is 4.2 joule per Kelvin per gram, and this is W grams. Times we have delta T. Now delta T has same units, either it's Y degree centigrade or Y Kelvin. One and the same thing because it's just a temperature change. So it will be Y Kelvin. So this Kelvin and per Kelvin will cancel, gram and per gram will cancel. So Q will be equal to 4.2 W Y joules. This is joules. Right, so now the point is that we have W, we have Q. Q means heat absorbed by the water. From here, we can very easily calculate the Q, that is the heat released by the ethanol. Heat, because we have to figure out the combustion of ethanol. Na? So this will be heat released by ethanol will be exactly equal to the heat absorbed by the water with negative sign, heat absorbed by water. So from here we can say that heat released by ethanol will be negative 4.2 WY joules. So this is the expression for Q. Now we have to find out delta H. What is delta H? Delta H combustion. Delta H combustion is the enthalpy change. It is the enthalpy change when 1 mole of ethanol is combusted. When 1 mole of ethanol is combusted. Now in the question we have been given how many moles of ethanol. Let's find out. Number of moles of ethanol means C2H5OH is equals to given weight of ethanol, which is Z gram per mole. Given weight of ethanol is X grams. So X gram is the given weight. Molar weight is Z gram per mole. So X by Z is the number of moles. So for this many moles, the heat released by ethanol is this much. So for 1 mole, the heat released will be. Let's solve this part here. Let's try to figure this out, that the heat released by X by Z moles of ethanol is minus 4.2 WY joules. So heat released by 1 mole of ethanol will be minus 4.2 WY divided by X times Z, and this is the heat released when 1 mole of ethanol is combusted, right? So but we have to report the answer in kilojoule per mole, and the answer we have is joule per mole. In order to convert this into kilojoule per mole, we just have to convert this. See, we know 1 kilojoule is equals to 1000 joules. Right, so 1 joule will be 1 joule will be 1 by 1000 kilojoules. So we can divide this by 1000 to convert it into kilojoule per mole. So the correct answer will be A, which is negative 4.2 WYZ upon 1000 X. So for this question, A is the correct answer, which tells us the enthalpy of combustion of ethanol in kilojoule per mole. So basically, we have to follow some certain steps, and I explained you step by step that first we calculate Q. Q is MC delta T, which is the heat absorbed by the water. Then this is exactly equal to the heat released by the ethanol. Heat released by the ethanol, and then from here we figure out the heat released by 1 mole of ethanol. 1 mole of ethanol, and that will be the delta H combustion. And since the answer is asked in kilojoule per mole, so we have to use this conversion that 1 kilojoule is 1000 joules. So with this, the correct option is A. That's it. Thank you.